Sitaram, greeting, Dr. Raj, the Hindu from Trinidad. I just want to state some facts. The history of Sanatan Dharma is not properly articulated and understood by others. The practitioner of Sanatan Dharma, some of you call us Hindus, knows that we have books on every single subject that you will have on this planet called Mitralok, Earth. We don't have one book, we have a library of books that will teach you everything and anything that you need to know. And these books in the oral tradition was handed down thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. Now you'll see archaeologists and all these other persons who their claim to fame is that they could tell you about historical things, but most of them are Christians, cannot wrap their head around the fact that Sanatan Dharma and Hindus have been here since time immemorial. They can't wrap their head around the fact that Sanatan Dharma, Indian civilization, they talk about the Indus valleys and Mohenjo-daro and all those things, and they put a 5,000 years history on it and a 10,000. They don't want to go back 10,000 years. But Ramsuti, that bridge between India and Sri Lanka, if you go back into our historical records called the Ramayana, you'll understand the age of that is much more than they could calculate. But you see, we Hindus just take things too easy. We allow others to subdue us. We allow others to make us feel as though we're inferior. I'll give you a good example. I went to high school, Northeastern College in Sangre Grande, and not once did any teacher who was teaching mathematics taught us that mathematics, numbering system, zero came from India. No, they did not. Why? I don't know. Do you know when I found that out? My first mathematics class at university, Nova University in Florida. And when I found that out, I was like, what? They call it Arabic numerals. You see, the Arabs went to India to trade and they learned all these things. And they took it into the new world. Of course, everything that India invents, they invent it for the world. They don't do it for themselves. They didn't say only mathematics is only for we, astrology is only for us. They did not say those things. They were willing to teach the Greeks, people from Mesopotamia, Persia, China, Japan, wherever they came from, Africa. They were willing to teach them the numbering system, astrology, trigonometry, you name it. Everybody lay claim to inventing it. Pythagoras' theorem, gravity, surgery, not realizing all these things were being done in India hundreds and thousands of years ago. So they made us to feel inferior, teachers especially. Maybe they were dunce, they didn't know. Nobody spoke of Ramanujan. Nobody spoke about a Pishpak Biman that is written in our books. Nobody spoke about those things because most of them were Christians, and Christians wanted to wipe off the history of the world and create a world that was only 5,000 years old. Not something that goes back way past that. But it's about time we Hindus stand up. Get the information that it have out there. Read the books. Speak to your pundits and your gurus and others and find out all these things, because I used to go to a lot of Ramayana yajnas and prayers and pujas and whatever you have. And I will hear these things. And I started to do my research. That's why I can speak with conviction. That's why I can tell you these things with conviction based on Sanatan Dharma, not the history of the world, the convoluted history of the world. All the great empires and countries of the past were wiped out by Christianity. Remember that, please remember that. They were wiped out by Christianity so that they could establish a world order. but they couldn't touch India. They tried for 950 years, the Christians and the Muslims. And they're still trying, day in, day out. Pakistan was born out of India, but they don't want to kill their mother. Bangladesh now doing the same thing. We in Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, Jamaica, well, in Jamaica they almost wipe us out. And other countries in the Caribbean, the surviving Indians who remain Hindus because we did not convert and they couldn't force us to. We have a belief system, we have a way of life. When we say in the beginning, out of darkness came light, that light was Lord Shiva. So no matter what you call God, he is Lord Shiva, because we know that to be a fact. There are many names that you may use for Lord Shiva, and we have many names for him. He alone has 108 names. Every one of our gods' representation, male or female, has 108 names. And on top of that, they all have a weapon. Do you know that? So Hindus don't cover anymore, you know. Every one of our representation of God has a weapon, you know. And you know what that weapon is for? To wipe out those who attack us in any form or fashion. I'm not preaching violence here, you know. I'm just naming facts. Watch any Hindu god representation and you'll see a weapon in their hands. And that is to teach us a lesson. We always have to fight, you know. Sanatan Dharam, Hindus always have to fight. But I have Kshatriya blood in me. And I am here to defend my religion at any cost. I'm not here to offend any religion, you know. As a matter of fact, if you belong to an Abrahamic religion, get to the root of it and find out where it came from, who invented it, how it came about, why it came about. Christ was never a Christian. He was a Jew. He born a Jew and he died a Jew. Christianity came long after he died. Why? Ask the question, why? Why were the slaves converted and they lost their root? They lost their religion. They lost their belief system. It irks me when I think about that, you know. But I can't worry about them. I have to worry about my own people. Just as how the same Christians went to America and wiped out the Native Americans. And they came to the Caribbean and they do it all in the name of the cross, flying the cross on their ships and everything else, and destroy civilization all over. You ever hear Hindu do that? You ever hear India invaded any country? Never. Because it's not in our DNA, and we don't believe in destroying others to propagate ourselves. So for those of you who think that you can say disparaging thing about us Hindus and wants to constantly bash us, get in your lane, you know. Because you see that young man, I think we should find his address and go and do a little, maybe a horn in front of his gate, maybe walk with a placard and ask him to apologize. I'm not talking about anything violent here, please. Because in nature, if you attack us, we'll attack you back. As Sanatanists, we know that. But you don't attack first. What you do, we find his house, his apartment, his business place, and we all take placards and whatever and make a silent protest in front of his home. Maybe when he chant home, I might irk him. I might make him change his ways and apologize. But we have to not only do it to him, we have to do it to others too. Anytime they attack us, find out where they live. Tell the Hindus out there, and let's find a Sunday morning and go in front and chant the name of the Lord. Hai Ram, Jai Shri Ram. See what happens. But get into the history of Sanatan Dharam, get into the history of India, and understand that we are no fly-by-night people. We didn't come the last 1,000 years or 2,000 years or 3,000 years. We've been here since the dawn of mankind on earth. Jai Shri Ram.